One of the ways that you can measure racism is in pounds. I didn't learn this in school, and I bet you didn't either. In the last videos that over 100,000 of you watched, which is great, welcome and hi, we discussed how algorithmic racism and predictive policing models are actually taking the broken social policies of the past and replicating them on a digital scale. So how does that show up in pounds? Well, two ways. Many of you are probably familiar with the difference in the discrepancy in maternal mortality across races. Put simply, Black women are more likely to die in childbirth than white women. There's a lot of reasons for that are documented in this book, but I want to actually focus specifically on the infants that are born. This comes from Dorothy Roberts' book, Fatal Invention, which is good for a lot of reasons. Alongside the discrepancy in maternal mortality, there's also a discrepancy in infant weight, in pounds. Put simply, the children of Black women weigh less at birth, statistically speaking, than the children of white women. That matters medically because the infant birth weight can have long-term medical effects down the road. It wouldn't be unreasonable if you heard this to think biologically that this may be a genetic problem. This may be something like sickle cell anemia. It could be related to intrinsic biological differences between races. Robert's book puts basically all of that nonsense to rest, but I'm going to give you one specific way that we know that that wasn't true in this specific case. If an effect is genetic, it's going to be more or less statistically constant across a racial category, a biological racial category. But sometimes history gives us a natural experiment. Following 9/11, there was an increase in Islamophobia and in anti-Arabic hate crimes. That was measurable, not just in statistics of crimes, but it was also measurable in infant birth weight. And not just all of the infants born to Arabic women post 9/11, specifically infants born to the women with Arabic-sounding names. This was not a genetic problem. This was a social problem that manifested itself in the biology. And if you're persnickety about causality or correlation, you can read the follow-up studies that were done that track birth weight over decades, confirming this hypothesis. The social world that we construct with our policies has biological ramifications. Put differently, there are no meaningful genetic differences between the races. There are differences in health outcomes across races. That's not because of genetics. It's because we built the world that way.